NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, happy to be with you. And Charles, we've got two teams who know each other extremely well. These division games, they tend to be battles.
People scout like crazy in this league, but no one scouts more than within the division. Because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. That puts extra emphasis on these games, and they can't wait to get at each other.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. There's quarterback Mitchell Trubisky leading out the Chicago Bears offense. Partner, what have you seen from Trubisky now that we have a pretty good chunk of games about a year and a half into his NFL career?
Always knew he was a worker, so that didn't surprise me at all that he would put the time in, but you're seeing it come out on the field now. Finding receivers with more proficiency, reading defenses better, showing that big-time ability that he flashed at North Carolina. Had a 6-touchdown game earlier this year against Tampa Bay. But I think the extra bonus to his game that maybe they didn't count on is legs, because they already have Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen to run the football, but he becomes a third runner, and he's flashed that ability and helped his team in a big way this season.
Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard, and he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Chicago Bears offense taking the field again here. You think about what they've done this season. They're coming off back-to-back 3-13 campaigns. Well, they had more than 3 wins at the halfway point. So you call this season a success already?
It's a success already in terms of that, but I believe that they're thinking bigger now, because they've established themselves as a team who can play with anyone. Now they want to find a way to beat some of those teams they haven't beat in the last few years. Remember, they finished last in the NFC North 4 years straight. Defense has been a staple and has actually been pretty good even the last few seasons. Now it's been elevated with Khalil Mack being around, but the offense is starting to hit its stride as well. 48 points against Tampa, put up 41 against Buffalo. They're starting to click too. Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Throwing here, Trubisky. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their big offseason signing from Michigan State in his 7th year. It's the veteran Kirk Cousins.
I do hear some mild criticism of Kirk Cousins and his play the last few seasons in Washington, mainly because the team was just 24-23-1. But I also saw a quarterback with an offensive line that essentially introduced itself to each other in the huddle before the first snap in Seattle against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Win that game with big plays late. This is a tough-minded, hard-nosed, gritty quarterback that tends to inspire a team to play better around him.
Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Boy, C.D. Mack, just from day one, he's looked so good in a Bears uniform, literally and figuratively. And some Raiders fans watching this saying, oh, I wish we had him on our team.
Yeah, just about every Raiders fan saying, he looked a lot better in silver and black. Why don't we still have him? But in Chicago, immediately comfortable, fit right into their defensive scheme. They said, go get the passer, and that's exactly what he's done. Leonard Floyd, another first-round pick coming from the other side. He has really helped Chicago get off to a great start, and they love how he disrupts teams' offenses.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. And that one good for 16 yards and a first.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And on this challenge, the refs have to take a peek and see whether or not the receiver was able to dot the I with both feet,
while making sure that he possesses the football all the way through the catch.
After review of the play, the wording on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
Kyle Rudolph had his second Pro Bowl appearance last year when he had 8 touchdowns, just one off of his career high. One of the most likable, upbeat players in the league, continues to improve as a blocker, is one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league. One of the guys that the Vikings like to build around for the future.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. On second down, Cook found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Working out of the gun, Cousins. It's caught by Treadwell. Cousins able to connect with Treadwell for a Minnesota first.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And the ball moved up here now to 2nd and 7 following the penalty. Cook following the penalty. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And a gain there of 11 yards.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone?
On 1st down, Murray. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. The Vikings on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess.
So on 4th down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Wild, to kick it away. Back deep, Tariq Cohen. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 22. They go with Howard to begin the drive. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
The anchor of this secondary is Harrison Smith, who was oddly named an all-pro safety in 2017, but just a Pro Bowl alternate who later did play in the game and had a pick 6. Metrics, they graded him out as the game's top safety in 2017. I call him the fixer. Wherever they need him on defense, they place him. Near the line of scrimmage, back deep, he makes plays.
On 2nd down, here's Trubisky. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll try to run for it with Howard. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the 1st. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st, they go right back to Howard. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On 2nd down, Trubisky going up top. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Here's Sherrills. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10.
Charles, as Minnesota takes the field here, let me get your thoughts on what you think of them coming down the stretch. The 1-3 start. We talked about their start last year, too. But is this a team that is being overlooked by others in the NFL right now?
I don't think so. I think that the teams that they're playing know how capable the Vikings are, and they realize that not only is the defense starting to get back to what they were last season, but that Kirk Cousins getting more and more comfortable with the weapons he has at his disposal. I think maybe we in the media on the outside are overlooking them a little bit because they've taken some losses to some significant teams so far this season. But I think down the stretch, you mentioned their start last year. They were 2-2 to start last year. 1-3 this year. They know how to put the
thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Deion Bush with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
That was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
This is Howard on 2nd down. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Sheldon Richardson there to make the play.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They pitch out to Howard, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Bears on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Throw left side complete. It's Burton. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Trubisky finding the former Eagle Burton for the Chicago first.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. From midfield now, here's Trubisky. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Trubisky with a give to Howard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Here's Trubisky to throw. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. The former Giant, Prince Amukamara, on the stop.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
And, Charles, this infraction is going to be against the offense. False start.
Sometimes you have to get up to the line of scrimmage, make sure your team is set before you begin your cadence.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on 2nd down. A give. This is Cook. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. So after a scoreless first quarter, we at least finally get some points on the board.
But it can't be what either of us expected, can it?
No, the safety's not what you expect for the first points of the game, but one of the goose eggs is gone. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. This is fielded at the 7. Onto the field now come the Bears.
The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 21. On the handoff, this is Howard. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are. Figure out the things that they really want to accomplish and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
4-6 defense, they were daring him to run the football. They ran it. A little football 101. Take us through what the 4-6 defense is, Charles.
So what you're trying to do with your big defensive front is cover the interior offensive lineman, the center, and the 2 guards, and make it difficult if you even want to think about running the ball inside. If you can control them, that allows the linebackers and the safeties to run free and get to the ball carriers. And that play worked really well. No gain.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And out now come the Vikings. And, of course, coming off the safety the last time they had the football. I never want that.
No, that's pretty unique, too, isn't it? When you give up points that way and the scoreboard, you look up and it says 2-0, it can throw you a little bit. Let's see if they can put that to the side and move forward.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. First down. Here's Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
False start, offense.
So pin that one on the rookie right tackle.
Remember those days when the right side was simply the run-blocking side? Now you're doing some of the better pass rushers in the league. It'll make you a little jittery.
And a manageable third down becomes a lot less manageable. 3rd and 7 after the false start. Cousins the thrower. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Khalil Mack with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Here's Matt Weil now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken around the 12. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Bears take over. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. He's hoping to get it going. They're hoping to get him going, too. You know, he's about ready to pop one here in the 2nd quarter. He's hoping.
And his offensive line teammates, they want to get one of those too because they want to continue to run the football. Most offensive linemen like that part of the game better than pass protection because they're not taking blows, they're actually dealing them out. So what they want to do is show the coaches, hey, if we pop one, we're having success. That way they won't go away from the running game.
He'll be hoping to pop one, break one here this go-around. On 1st down, they run with Howard. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They go counter with Howard. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half. Maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Oh, he almost had the rare interception. The big fella couldn't hang on, though. Incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that that fell harmlessly to the ground. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been terrific so far. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Sherrills to return it. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Play fake. Cousins. That is incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And it's 3rd and short.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Cousins now. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Here's Matt Weil now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Jordan Howard and the Bears offense making their way back out there. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
And he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Out of the gun, Trubisky. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Trubisky got his man complete over the middle. That's Burton. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
A give to Howard. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Give the tackle there to Danielle Hunter.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A Chicago first down, the former Jag, Allen Robinson, on the catch from Trubisky. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now's a play caller. Because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Now Trubisky on first down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. They run play action for Howard. Now Trubisky. And that's incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
The Bears on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
We got three, fellas. We got 3.
Trubisky to throw again. Throw left side, taken in by Miller. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And his kick is good. Not by much. It was leaking oil in the end, but he tucks it in the bottom right corner. And that will give us the very rare scoreline of 5-0. So it's our first offensive points of the game so far, and it gives us a very rare scoreline. We don't see this one often, 5-0.
Yeah, it's been sort of a weird one to this point, hasn't it? But hey, in this league, you take points any way you can get them.
Parkey now following the made field goal to kick this one off. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. A first down throw for Cousins. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. Cousins now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a second down. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. To the air again, it's Cousins. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
The Vikings on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Cousins on first down. Incomplete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. From the gun, here's Cousins. And Diggs has it. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action.
The Vikings on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And they'll get him down right around the 16. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Dan Bailey now for the field goal try. This a 33-yard attempt. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? But wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the second half.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. Trubisky now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Over the middle, complete. That's Sims. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now Howard. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go. So we come upon halftime here at Soldier Field with the Bears out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports halftime report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far and certainly plenty to look forward to as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. On 1st and 10, Cousins. He'll find Thielen work in the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, Cousins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. They run with Howard. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
The reason that counter and misdirection plays work so well is that usually you've given them a reason to think that everything's going to the direction that starts initially. You've run that type of a play throughout the game. You've given them that look, and now you're going to counter things and bring it back the other way. Almost a tendency breaker at times. And a lot of it is making sure that you have an illusion, almost like a magician. Look over here. But the play is actually happening over there, and that's where running back's vision comes into play. See the hole in a place where people don't expect and get there with some speed. And that's exactly what he did on that play. And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Running with Howard. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Bears on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 7. Trubisky will throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And the gamble fails. It's incomplete. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They run it again with Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Third and long for Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Matt Weil now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. Now Trubisky, and this is incomplete. Well, with that incompletion, Charles, I want to revisit our preseason Super Bowl picks.
Must we?
Well, we're getting closer and closer toward the playoffs. So
we have to revisit
Who
them?
did you have? You had the Falcons.
I had Atlanta.
But you couldn't predict all those injuries the Falcons
Couldn't
had.
predict all the injuries, and heading into their open week, they had won 2 in a row. And then beat Washington after the open week. So all is not lost, but still enough guys are out that maybe it's not the best prediction. But I did have Pittsburgh, I believe, on the AFC side, and they are really starting to come on.
Sadly, I don't even remember who I had. I think it's going to sound like, oh, yeah, revisionist history. I think I had Rams and Patriots, so I'm going to stick with that.
That actually sounds familiar to me. I do believe you did have Rams in New England, and you are on track with those two teams.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that's incomplete. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus of the whole
that's
thing.
true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 18. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They start the drive with Cook, and he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Again, it's Cook. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Cousins got his man complete over the middle. That's Morgan. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through, picking up the 1st.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a 1st down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Handoff comes to Cook. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On play action, Cousins. Left side caught by Diggs. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Give them 12 yards on that one. It earns them a fresh set of downs.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Play fake. Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To throw, Cousins. That's going to be caught. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A good pickup there, a 22.
As the field starts to get condensed, the defense likes that a lot because now you don't have as much space to cover, but a well-run corner route there.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now they'll run. Murray. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. Cousins. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Now we got 3rd and goal coming up, and couldn't you imagine being in that huddle, partner? You know they're looking at each other saying, we can't come away with just 3 points after this drive.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. They want more than that 3. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Throwing, Cousins. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And with that, they move ahead by a point here in this 3rd quarter. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Out of the gun, Trubisky. Being chased out left. And he's got room. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st down, Trubisky over the middle, complete. That's Robinson. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Trubisky now, 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. Here's Trubisky to throw. He leaves this one for Howard. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And they'll go on the ground. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the 2nd half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
The Bears on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 9. From midfield now, here's Trubisky. Finding Gabriel, complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, will step aside. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Trubisky draw play, gives to Howard. So he got free at one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a pickup of 4 and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th.
Let's go. 180!
There's the option going left on 2nd down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The Bears on 3rd down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This will be 3rd and 5. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Oh, no, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This for a 4th quarter lead. And Parkey's kick is good. And with that, they will move ahead by 2 here in the 4th. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Parkey now following the made field goal to kick this one off. Here comes Sherrills. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, you're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
A first down throw for Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 6 there on first. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back the intended target, and it's 3rd and 4.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Cousins. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
Now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
Now Trubisky to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This will be 3rd and 6. The catch made by Miller. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
On second down, Trubisky. And he is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Out at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the pull. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now Trubisky to throw on second. He'll leave it for Cohen, complete. He gets this down to the 3, but no further. Brought the great move out of the bag, but couldn't do a ton with it. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Now it's Trubisky. And it's caught. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Deion Sims from 3 yards out. And the Bears will add on to their lead.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Cody Parkey is on now for the point after. Parkey with the extra point, and that makes this a 9-point game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. Here comes Sherrills. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Leonard Floyd in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Working out of the gun, Cousins, and it's incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe he didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Akeem Hicks in there to drop him for a loss of 10, and it'll be 4th and long.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They could put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play.
Oh, had to get it out quickly, but it's blocked. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. Touchdown, Bears.
But they didn't have their normal cushion there in order to punt the ball away. It leads to a lot of anxiety for the team kicking the football.
Well, for the punter, you know that you've got to get rid of that quickly there. Not quick enough.
And also, not stepping behind you and stepping over the end line for a safety. That one gets blocked, and it's 6 points.
Now Trubisky will lead the Bears up to go for 2. They'll try and run it here. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. Here comes Sherrills. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Throwing is Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Cousins to his tight end, Rudolph, for a Viking first down. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
First down, here's Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the fourth. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
The Bears offense led by Mitch Trubisky heading back out there.
And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Trubisky. Over the middle, that's caught by Miller. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Now Trubisky on first down. And his throw here's incomplete. Deion Sims is tight end, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
They run play action for Howard. Now Trubisky. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Trey Burton from 10 yards out. And the Bears use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. They had the lead in the fourth, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Now Parkey for the extra point. Parkey adds the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and the end result is a Bears touchdown. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Cousins on 1st down. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. A 2nd down throw for Cousins. His throw incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Cousins now. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. 63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a 1st down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
On 1st and 10, Cousins got his man complete over the middle. That's Cook. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Again, it's Cousins. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there, because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They'll run for it. Cook. And he is not going anywhere. They stop it for no gain. Dalvin Cook turned away on 4th down. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll run from the pistol with Howard. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Now he's and he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Daniil Hunter able to get in there and drop him behind the line.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
From midfield now, here's Trubisky. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd learned to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
And now out comes Minnesota. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows a coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Throwing, Cousins. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A 1st down throw for Cousins. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
It is tough to complete pass against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to lead to a third down. Cousins again. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. They go with Howard again, and the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
On 3rd down, this is Howard. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Bears get the win at home as we say so long from Soldier Field.